Picture this: the bustling ports of 18th century China. The air is filled with the sounds of merchants haggling, sailors shouting, and the constant clatter of goods being loaded and unloaded. Ships laden with silk, porcelain, and the prized brew tea set sail for the west. These goods were not just commodities, they were symbols of luxury and status in Europe. Europeans adored these exotic goods, fueling a brisk trade with the East. The demand for Chinese products was insatiable, and European markets thrived on this influx of Eastern treasures. However, this seemingly harmonious exchange hid a growing problem. Beneath the surface of this thriving trade, tensions were simmering. China, under the Qing dynasty, held a powerful position. The Chinese Empire was vast, and its resources abundant, giving it leverage over European traders. They demanded payment in silver, leading to a silver drain in the West. This imbalance of trade caused significant economic strain on European nations. European nations, particularly Great Britain, sought ways to balance this trade deficit. The need to find a solution became increasingly urgent as silver reserves dwindled. They searched for a commodity the Chinese desired, something to stem the flow of silver eastward. The quest for a viable trade good was relentless and fraught with challenges. Little did they know, a solution was brewing, one that would have devastating consequences: opium. This seemingly simple plant would soon become the catalyst for conflict and change on an unprecedented scale. Enter the British East India Company, a formidable force in global trade during the 18th and 19th centuries. This powerful trading entity held a monopoly on British trade in the East, controlling vast resources and influencing international markets. Recognizing the immense potential of opium, the company began cultivating it extensively in their Indian colonies, transforming vast tracts of land into opium poppy fields. The company found a ready and eager market in China, where opium consumption, initially confined to the elite, started to spread rapidly among the general population. The opium trade, though immensely lucrative for the British, had disastrous consequences for Chinese society. Addiction rates soared, affecting millions. As more and more Chinese became addicted, silver, the backbone of the Chinese economy, began flowing out of China in alarming quantities. This reversed the trade imbalance that had previously favored China, but ignited severe social and economic turmoil within the country, leading to widespread unrest. The Qing government, alarmed by the rising addiction rates and the significant drain of silver, decided to take decisive action to curb the opium trade and restore stability. In 1839, the Daoguang Emperor appointed Lin Zexu, a staunch official known for his integrity, as imperial commissioner to eradicate the opium trade. Lin took swift and decisive action. He ordered foreign traders to surrender their opium stocks and cease all opium trade. Lin's actions were met with resistance from the British, who saw this as a threat to their trade and a blow to their prestige. The British government, fueled by the pleas of the East India Company, responded with military force, marking the beginning of the First Opium War. Section 4. Unequal Treaties and Lasting Scars: The Aftermath of War. This chapter delves into the profound consequences that followed the First Opium War, a conflict that reshaped the course of history for China and the Western powers. The First Opium War, which took place from 1839 to 1842, really exposed the technological gap between China and the West. The war was a stark demonstration of the industrial might of the British Empire, which had undergone significant advancements during the Industrial Revolution. British warships, armed with superior firepower, easily outmaneuvered the Chinese Navy. These ships, equipped with the latest in naval technology, were a formidable force that the Chinese fleet, with its outdated vessels, could not hope to match. Despite valiant resistance, China suffered a humiliating defeat. The Chinese forces, though brave and determined, were simply outclassed by the superior tactics and weaponry of the British. The Treaty of Nanking, the first of the so-called unequal treaties, forced China to cede Hong Kong to Britain and open several ports to foreign trade. This treaty marked a significant loss of sovereignty for China and a major gain for British commercial interests. This defeat was a deep blow to China's pride and marked the beginning of a century of humiliation. The loss of Hong Kong and the opening of treaty ports were just the beginning of a series of concessions that would erode China's autonomy. The opium trade continued, albeit legally, further weakening China and fueling social unrest. The influx of opium had devastating effects on Chinese society, leading to widespread addiction and contributing to the decline of the Qing dynasty. Section 5. Echoes of the Past. Lessons from a Turbulent Time. The Opium Wars stand as a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked greed and the devastating consequences of forcing one's will upon another. The conflict led to the weakening of the Qing dynasty, paving the way for internal strife and external exploitation. It also exposed the hypocrisy of Western powers, who championed free trade while ruthlessly pursuing their own economic interests. The lessons from this period resonate even today. The Opium Wars remind us that dialogue, understanding, and respect for sovereignty are crucial for a peaceful and prosperous world.